I'm not very optimistic in moving forward, like a higher pay for route setting. So to be honest, I feel that maybe it's time for me to leave route setting as a whole and venture into some other things.
So for my personal experience, I started setting, I think as we all have, from like just picking holes on the wall. That's how it really started. Like that's what sparked my interest in this creative aspect of climbing lah, right? It's like, oh, like why not we try this hole to this hole and see if it's doable or not. And it started there for me, and it's kind of like a very, very different place when you're talking about setting professionally, because when you're setting professionally, it's not always about satisfying that part of you that wants to try the impossible move or things like that. It's about creating an experience for the customer from start to finish. Yeah, like do you think that has been a noticeable change that you have experienced since from the point that you first started climbing, first started setting, as well as for like till now?
Yeah, definitely. I think looking at the photos of the old on-site, I can sort of recognize what I previously said, like maybe 10 years ago. And looking at the pictures, I was like, okay, my roots were so shit. and yeah, you just get better as you do it lah. So day in, day out, I mean, I was setting like 5 days a week. And I had time to explore what works and what doesn't work, and also gathering feedback from the climbers also helps. Going overseas as well to learn from other setters. For example, I went to Japan to set for North Face Cup, I think in 2014, and that was a real eye-opener. So basically,
In what sense?
North Face Cup hires the best route setters all across Japan, and they all come together for that one comp, and everyone sets for that competition. So the eye opener was they didn't really use much volumes, whereas in on-site, when just before I went over, I think Singapore was trending in volume climbing, so we had a lot of setting with volumes. So somehow when I went there weren't much volumes involved, but they were able to create really, really nice movement from just holes. Yeah, so it kind of tell me that you can set a really good movement out of simple holes and simple basic climbing movements.
Yep.
Yeah. You gotta piece them together, but that's the hard part lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from there, I learned to diversify my setting profile. So it's not just like, oh, I like setting with volumes, so I'm only good at setting volumes. No, so I have to diversify so that whenever I go overseas to set, whatever the situation may be, I am able to produce good routes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you have started at $1,000 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And right now, I would estimate, don't have to like reveal it, but I estimate that you're thinking about more than 2,000, less than 3,000. Am I right?
Yes.
Thereabout.
Yes, thereabouts.
Okay, so yeah, if you put things into perspective, for 10 years of career progression, I don't think $1,000 or 1,000 plus is
Yeah,
spectacular lah.
it's definitely not, but I think in general the market rate for route setters in Singapore is really low, and we are not being appreciated enough. But it's also because of some of our level as a route setter. So, for example, you get a student who's well into climbing and can also set, and this guy just wants to volunteer. So it kind of devalues the route setting profession.
Because why hire you when you can hire this guy?
Yeah, why hire me with a higher pay while you can hire some volunteers? Or there will always be someone who volunteers or do it for less because it's just a side gig or something that they want to experience and not really stay in the industry. They just want to have fun. And I think that's one of the issues. And I think another part of the issue is that actually in Singapore, dollar for dollar, I think we are quite cheap for gym entries.
I see.
Yeah, as compared to other countries where I've been, right, it's pretty expensive to just have the gym entry. Yeah, yeah, so I think if the level of, like, let's say 10 years of experience, right, I'm getting this much. I don't know what.
Like what more lies ahead of you?
Yeah, what more lies ahead of me? Or will it be even viable? Because now at kind of like my prime as a route setter, in terms of physical ability and also your route setting ability, I think way past my prime, I may not be able to do it anymore. It's just really tiring actually to be on the ropes. And also boulder setting it's not as tiring, but it's physically demanding to forerun the harder problems.
Yep, it is.
Yep.
So then what is your solution to those people? There are many people out there who actually ask this question quite a bit, like how do you even start setting, or how do you even try? And now that you have shed light on this issue, are the gyms supposed to step up and pay these people? But even if they pay, they can't pay you the same rate as they pay them, right? So at the end of the day, is there no entry into the industry, or no chance for people to experience what it is to be a setter?
I feel that the setters, all the setters in Singapore, be it full-timers, part-timers, or those who want to enter the industry, we kind of have to come together and set like a benchmark standard where, let's say, you are just training to be a route setter, you get paid this much. And if you have passed that certain level, you will get another pay scale, a different pay scale, and then a different responsibility with a higher pay scale. Or it also depends on the popularity of your problems or something. Yeah, so, but it's kind of difficult to quantify it. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to quantify it because route setting is actually kind of a creative job, right? So, like, who am I to say that my routes are the best? Also, you know, like, I set the best route or something like that. But there's also no way for me to prove that my problems are worth this much. Yeah. So for example, you get paid a certain amount, like say $200 a day, right? And then you are supposed to set maybe 5 problems. So that's like $50.
Yeah, 50.
$50.
40 bucks.
40 bucks.
Yeah, it's 40
so
bucks
that's like 40 bucks per problem, right? Is that problem worth $40?
But okay, like this is the thing that gets me lah. So if you look at a gym business model, right? Let's just say on average we just like cap it at like maybe like every individual pays $20, okay, to go to the gym. A setter comes in, let's just say that conservatively his pay is about, I would say, $20-ish per route, which means that one entry covers one route, the cost of one route. So can you imagine, let's say the gym has 100 people, 100 entries like a day. That adds up to $2,000 a day. And if the only overhead is like rent and stuff like that, then I don't see how they are not able to pay settlers better lah. I don't know, like maybe I'm saying this from a place of ignorance as well, but $20 per route and having that cost covered by just one person coming in, like to me that's a little bit of an undervalue, considering that your business model is people come here exactly for the routes, to climb. Yeah, like what are your thoughts on the value of setting, or the value that the industry places on setting in Singapore?
Okay, there's this energy that's going around that route setters are like chefs, right? So, and this climbing gym is the restaurant, and we as a chef, in a restaurant, right, the chef may not be necessarily be paid well, but people actually go there for the food, right? But it's not just for the food as well, it's for the environment, like for the ambience and other stuff, like location, what else you go for a restaurant for?
People?
Yeah, people, service.
Service.
Yeah. So we are not, like the chef is not the only thing that's running the gym, but
It's the main thing. Okay, if you think about it this way, good food and bad service, people will still come. Bad food and good service, I don't think as many people will go. Like that's why, like there are like queues for stalls with like grumpy aunties.
I don't know lah, but I think in restaurants, the managers will earn more than the chefs.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah, that's just how it is. Unless you are a celebrity chef or you open up your own restaurant, you can pay however much you like lah.
But okay, so that now that you are in like kind of like your prime of setting, your prime of being able to carry out the full responsibility of what a setter should be, right? Then, if you of all people, who is arguably the most experienced gym setter in the country, it feels like you are being undervalued. Like, am I right to say that you feel like you're being undervalued?
Undervalued, not really, but underpaid, yes.
Okay.
Right. I think undervalued can mean a lot more other things, but underpaid, yes, definitely. Yeah.
So if you're underpaid, then isn't the industry as a whole killing the setting profession if the most experienced gym setter is underpaid? Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like for example, like we brought up the example of chefs. The most experienced chef is definitely not underpaid. And that's why the F&B business model will never die. Yeah. Like where do you think, or like how optimistic are you moving forward with regards to pay for setting?
I'm not very optimistic in moving forward, like a higher pay for route setting. So to be honest, I feel that maybe it's time for me to leave route setting as a whole and venture into some other things. And it's quite sad lah that I have spent 10 years in this industry to just leave everything behind. But I can say that as of now, route setting alone as a full-time job is not a viable career. So I think what you have to do if you want to work in gyms is that you have to double up your portfolio. You have to do route setting plus something else.
Like ops or something?
Yeah, like ops or marketing or whatever it is. So you kind of have to have a dual role which.
But like, don't you feel like that's a stretch, because setting in itself is a job that is not replaceable. It's not just like I can get anyone to do it, you know. But for ops, for marketing, it's more possible. It's more possible to get someone else to do as good of a job, to run the gym operations, for example. But like setting is like, it's like you said, it's a creative art form, and it's really not as simple as a lot of people think, to not only set good quality routes but to churn it out fast within a commercial setting, right? Yeah, for it to not affect business and things like that. And it's really not easy, and I feel like setting should be given a role on its own and not have someone adopt like a dual role just to get paid something that is viable lah, to live off, you know. Like, do you think otherwise, or?
I guess I can kind of understand from the business owner's point of view. It can be quite ridiculous to pay someone, like, say, $300 for 4 problems, you know, 4 problems a day.
That's the market rate, right, for Japan?
Yeah, so the market rate in Japan is
Cannot math.
30,000 yen. Is it 30,000 yen? I think so, yeah. 30,000 yen? No, 20,000 yen. Okay, so I got paid 30,000 yen a day.
Which is in Singapore dollars?
I think it's like 400 plus.
Oh wow! It's not even a special gig. It's just a normal gym set.
Wait. Is it 30? Okay, I'm not sure what is it. It's 20 to 30,000. But yeah, so it's about like 300 to 400 a day. Yeah, in a day, where it's just a commercial, normal gym setting. But that rate also varies according to who you are as a setter as well. So I think like that's the higher tier of the market rate. And there's no real like benchmark whether these guys should be getting paid this much, but it's how the business owner or the gym route setting chief values that guest route setter. So it's like, oh, okay, this route setter deserves this much, so I should pay him this much.
But on average, it's still way higher than Singapore lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.